Hello there. Welcome to my channel, Divine Nudges. Let me first start off by congratulating you for being in alignment. There is a message in today's video that is meant for you to hear. Perhaps you're being faced with some sort of a challenge, some sort of a situation that's been tugging on your spirit because you don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to move forward with it. This situation is presenting itself to you as a distraction of sorts because lately you've been on your grind. You've been hard at work. You've been working on a new project, developing a new skill, perhaps even transitioning from one career to the next and deciding that you want to make changes to your life, that there are things and ways that you've been living that you no longer want to live. You no longer want to do the things that you used to do. You no longer want to feel like you're so burdened by life's responsibilities, and You've been working on how the next chapter of your life is going to be more in alignment with your purpose and fulfillment. So, where is this distraction coming from? Why are you being faced with it? Let's start off by quickly considering a story about a painter who lived in a small, peaceful village. The painter was known throughout the village for their beautiful sunrise paintings, and every day would climb up a steep hill to capture the colors of the morning sun. The villagers admired the paintings, saying they brought warmth and light into their homes. The painter's work had meaning, and everyone looked forward to each new piece. Well, one morning, as the painter began their usual climb, something unusual caught their eye. A bird with feathers that shimmered like gold flew past them. The painter was curious and started to follow it. And as they did, the bird danced from branch to branch, deeper into the forest. Each time the painter thought they could reach it, the bird flew just a little further. Now the trees grew thicker, the path grew darker, but the painter pressed on, believing they were close to catching the bird. Suddenly, hours passed, and soon the painter realized they had wandered far from the hill. The sky had brightened, and the sunrise, the one they were supposed to paint, was already over. Exhausted and lost, the painter finally sat down, realizing they had been chasing something that wasn't truly theirs. The bird's beauty had led them astray, but their real purpose had been back on the hill, creating art that brought joy to themselves and to others. Now let's talk about those shimmering gold feathers, because they're going to look different for each of you. For some of you who are listening to this message, those gold feathers could be an ex that's returning from your past. For others of you, it could be a family member who perhaps relies on you exceedingly, way too much. For others of you, it may be a friend who maybe isn't as supportive as you would like them to be, and rather than encourage and inspire you to continue along your path, maybe encourages you to be distracted, go partying, go out, help them with their troubles and their ailments, so on and so forth. Those shimmering gold feathers are going to look different for everyone. But what is not different, the constant is that they are a distraction. See, you're a very loving individual and you're only human. You have needs, you have wants, you have desires, and you have a heart of gold, much like those feathers. And so there could be a past lover who's resurfacing, whom you once really wanted nothing more than to have a successful relationship with. There could be a karmic family member, perhaps a parent or a sibling, that constantly needs you to rescue them, who relies on you to help them out financially or any other way that taps into your resources. And that friend, for some of you, could be challenging your natural inclination to be loyal and committed to the relationships in your life, so much so that you look past their obvious jealous tendencies, insecurities, even, because you recognize that their insecurities really don't have anything to do with you. And as a loving friend, you want to help them through it. There could be other distractions. There could be work. There could be bills. There could be children. There could be responsibilities. But really, what we're focusing on right now is how do you navigate through these distractions? And what do they symbolize? What is it that they're representing in your life? I have a friend who would say to me often, there is a devil on every level. And really, what that means is that there's a challenge that you need to surmount and overcome. And it's usually in the way of a distraction. And every time you reach a new level, that distraction, it may look different. Maybe on level one, it was the ex. Maybe on level two, it was the family member. Maybe on level three, it was the friend. But one thing is for certain, they don't stop coming. You, however, you get better at recognizing them as a distraction. You get better at navigating them. So long as you have the awareness of what they symbolize for you. And a lot of times, what these distractions symbolize are your commitment to yourself, your commitment to your purpose. Are you really committed? Are you really committed to the point where you may have to go against your natural inclination to love those around you and to put others first? Because it's not that you don't love them, it's not that you stop loving them. It's that you realize that in order to continue along your path, you're going to have to put yourself first. So here you are, you're gaining momentum. You've figured some things out. You've gotten through levels one and two of your journey, and now you're on to level three, and the momentum is just picking up. And perhaps you have a loved one, regardless of their role, who doesn't make the best decisions. You know, they get themselves into hot water, they get themselves into trouble. And now you're faced with, what is my role in this person's journey? And even as you ponder that, you are having to stop, pause, the momentum that you've picked up on your own journey, to consider how you're going to show up in the journey of another. Now, to make it a little bit more difficult, for some of you, this person is someone whom was a companion on your journey. At some point, at one point, you and this person were neck and neck, side by side. Not neck and neck like a competition, but side by side, as in you were making the same amount of progress. You both had picked up some momentum. This could be someone with whom you were sharing a spiritual journey where your spiritual unfoldment was neck and neck. You were becoming more enlightened. You were ascending. You were becoming more aware of your shadows and the light and how everything intermingles and interplays together. And so you started making better decisions, both of you. You were both growing. But all of a sudden, a beautiful bird with feathers that shimmered like gold flew past your loved one. And they went into the forest to chase the bird. And they veered off of their path. And knowing you, you called out to them and you pointed out that that beautiful bird was a distraction, that that beautiful bird, that ex, and it could be, doesn't have to be an ex, it could be a new lover, was distracting them. That now they had started to pour more into that person, place, or thing than they were pouring into themselves. And so you called out to them. You tried to be that beacon. You tried to sound the alarm and say, hey, 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 remember what we were doing? Remember where we were going? What are you doing? Get back over here. Get back over here. But they went deeper and deeper into the forest. And unlike the painter in our story, they have not yet found their way back. So, what are you to do in this moment? Let's talk a little bit about survivor's remorse then, because some of you are going to be faced with it. Some of you are going to have to deal with the guilt of succeeding. Okay? And what you're going to have to realize, or what you should consider, what you're being divinely nudged to understand, is that your success is not a bad thing, even when that means that you have to leave others behind. Okay? Picture being in a car accident, or picture someone, two people in a car accident. One survives and one doesn't. The survivor may feel guilty. Why were they chosen to live? Why were they chosen to survive? Why wasn't their loved one chosen to survive? Why me and not them? And when you're faced with situations like this, you have to dig deeper to understand that your purpose, much like the painters that brought joy to others, that their skill and their talent filled the homes of others with warmth, joy. For some of you, you're healers, healing. For some of you, you're spiritual workers. And whatever that means, raising the collective consciousness, helping others navigate their way out of that forest. Okay, you are in a position, you are in a place where you will best serve humanity by moving forward along your path, which means that the distractions that come your way, no matter how emotionally tied you are to them, are going to have to be put into their proper perspective. So, this is something that you're going to have to love yourself through, because to the outside world, you may come across as cold and uncaring and unloving. Some people may say, I don't even recognize you anymore. I used to be able to count on you. I used to be able to call on you. And that's going to be hard for you to take in. That's going to be hard for you to navigate through, because you know that you're not coming from a place of being unloving or unkind, but more so a place of understanding your purpose, understanding your calling, and answering the call in ways that others have not. And the responsibility that comes with that is something that not everyone is equipped to handle, but you are. You are. And that is why when your loved one veered off the path, chasing after that beautiful, shimmery bird, you stayed on course, because you are equipped to recognize, you have a level of awareness, you have reached a level of enlightenment where you can detect the red flags. You can detect the distractions. You can detect the lower vibrational energies that are meant to make you part of their collateral damage. You have gotten to a point on your journey because you went past level 2. You successfully completed you successfully completed level 1. You successfully completed level 2. And the devils that were on both of those levels were defeated by your resilience, by your endurance, by your strength, by your unwillingness to waver on your path to fulfilling your purpose. And so not only have you grown stronger and more capable and more intelligent and faster and more quick-witted, but you've understood that it's to be expected. And in that expectation, you are now even more prepared. Because if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And you are ready. You are ready for those distractions. So if by chance today you're being faced with a situation that you do not know how to navigate, you are being divinely nudged to put that situation in its proper perspective. What does it mean in in your storyline. If you take a step back and take in the entire view, what does this person represent? What does this situation represent? Where does it fit in your story? Is it an antagonist or a protagonist in your story? In other words, is it an opposition or is it an ally? Is it an alliance in your story that's going to help you get to the next level? Or is it going to set you back? Is it going to distract you? And is it going to keep you there? Understanding that as you ascend, as you reach higher levels, some of these distractions are going to come in the way of loved ones who start to feel like their value is declining as yours is climbing. And it's not true, but it's a matter of perspective because they have remained stuck at a place in their journey. So as you ascend, you start to look bigger and further away and unreachable in a way that really frightens and scares them in terms of what that means for them, what they haven't been able to accomplish. And not only that, but are you becoming inaccessible to them in a way? Because you're so focused on your path that you seem unreachable to them at this point. But remember, you tried. When they went off chasing that beautiful bird, you tried. You called them back. You called out to them. You said, hey, 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 remember. Remember who you are. Remember how far you've come. That bird is taking you off your path. Get back here. What are you doing? So it's not that you deserted them. It's that they were more captivated by the bird than they were by their purpose and their calling. They were so blinded by the bird that they could not see that in that moment, it wasn't that you were putting a dark light on their happiness, because in that moment they felt like you just didn't understand. You didn't understand that, oh, they were drawn to the bird. It must mean something, and I have to live through this experience, and you just don't understand. And I know that I'm meant to somehow intermingle with this bird. And so in that moment that you were the eyes of discernment, because they had become blinded by the beauty of the bird, in that moment they rejected your showing up for them in the way that they've been accustomed to, and now are saying that they don't recognize you anymore because you're not showing up for them in that way anymore. It's not that you stopped showing up for them. It's that when it mattered the most, when they had reached a level where it became about making or breaking their journey, they rejected the way in which you showed up for them. And what you decided in all of your wisdom was that perhaps they really weren't ready. Because had they been ready to walk in their purpose, they, just like you, would have recognized that beautiful bird for the distraction that it actually was. They would have said, nothing is more important than answering this call that is coming from the universe, that is coming from the divine, that is coming from a higher power. And so, see, that's part of it. That's part of this journey. That's part of reaching heights, the pinnacle of success. It really and truly is an obstacle course. It really and truly is a display of your ability to surmount challenges and to defeat demons, your own and those that reside in others and in the world around us. There are very few who are going to reach the mountaintop because all of the challenges and the hidden mysteries that lie in the concourse, in the obstacle course, they're not going to be surmountable by everybody. So today is a day for you to celebrate and congratulate yourself as someone who has grown through situations, relationships, challenges that once took you down, that once were successful in distracting you, that once were successful in taking you off of your path. Because it's not that you flew past levels 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You pushed through them. You grew through those levels. And you could have taken the path of feeling defeated. You could have taken the path of someone who grew to have imposter syndrome, who stopped believing in yourself. You could have convinced yourself that, oh, that path just wasn't meant for you. It's too hard. This can't be my calling. There are way too many challenges before me. This must not be meant to be. See, because the beautiful bird was easy. It was alluring. All you had to do was chase it into the forest and just wander off. But your calling is meant to build your character. It is meant for you to peel back the layers of the onion, and at every layer shows you a new part of yourself. Something that you had not recognized in yourself before those challenges. You're learning yourself. You're growing in ways that you couldn't have imagined without those challenges. And so, yeah, if they don't recognize you anymore, it could very well be because you're not the same person that you were at the start of your journey. You were never meant to be. You will never come out of it the same way you went into it. The decision that we are all faced with, however, is what do we want to look like when we come out of it? So, for those of you who are dealing with a bit of survivor's remorse, and maybe you're not there yet, maybe you're still too early on in your journey, and the divine, in all of the divine's loving and kindness, is sending you this message ahead of your success because you need to understand that these are real situations that you will be faced with, and the divine wants you to be prepared so that you don't get distracted by your own survivor's remorse, by your own survivor's guilt. You are being forewarned so that you are forearmed. This message was meant to find you today. Some of you are already dealing with this, but we're all on different timelines. So some of you have not fully been immersed in how deep this really goes on your path to success. Understand that we are all faced with choices and that it is the decisions that you make that decide or that lead to your reality. If you look around you right now, you will be able to find how everything that you see is based on a decision that you once made. If you are among those who are making decisions that are positive, that are leading to your best and highest good, that are leading you closer to your purpose and to your fulfillment, you have nothing to feel guilty about when there are others around who are making different decisions, who are making decisions that, albeit unfortunate, are leading them to veer off their path. Because chances are that they were equipped with the same tools and resources that you were, but they made different decisions. You didn't have a head start. You didn't cheat. It's not a matter of you being more lucky than them. It's a matter of who you are inside. It's a matter of the decisions that you not only have made in your past, but that you continue to make every day. They're not easy. You want to chase the bird too sometimes. You want to get lost in the forest too sometimes. But you understand the consequences of those actions. You understand the severity of the setback. I heard someone say today, I was watching a tarot reader today, and she said, those who fraternized with the scorn are scorned. And that was very profound. That was very profound because if someone allows themselves to be distracted, it is because they are not fully committed to their path. And you have to understand that, because that's going to be part of what helps you navigate the difficult situation, whatever it is that you're being faced with. That's kind of going against your natural inclination to put others before you and to be loving and to want to heal and nurture and care for those that you love. There is a level of acceptance that's going to have to go into your success, of knowing that not everyone can come with you. I hope this message has reached those who needed to hear it, who it was meant to find. Please like, share, comment, subscribe if you'd like to hear more. As the Spirit moves me, I will continue to find you with these messages.